Okay, this is a 2000 Honda Odyssey. What we're going to do is change out the thermostat. And the thermostat is located, here's the engine, here's the battery, way down underneath here. It follows this hose right here. It's got this clamp, which I hate these clamps, but that's what they put on here. And here is the housing itself. Right in there. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take the battery out, take the two posts off, take the negative first, the second one, the positive, and then I'm going to take the plastic case out, and that way I'll have easy access. This here at the bottom of the radiator, I'm going to unscrew this, and this will let the fluid out of the radiator. Okay, here we are. Here's the battery case. Let's take the battery out. So I've disconnected the two posts here. Take off the two brackets, and see you just unscrew it here, and then you just flip these out. So that's nothing. So let's just take this top thing off, get this battery off. Start with the negative side first, and we'll put that on last. The other thing is, you're going to take the battery off. You're going to have to deal with the radio, because if you have a stock radio, it's got those radio codes in, and it's too late now. So make sure you have those. The other thing is, when you touch all this stuff, be careful. You get it on your clothes, you're going to have holes in your clothes. Battery acid is not forgiving. So after I work with the battery here, I'll probably go wash my hands, because I have a tendency of sometimes wiping my hands on my pants or something like that, and then next thing you know, I'm mad because I come out of the wash next time and there's holes or there's white spots or whatever. So just a little tip. See, this stuff comes off easy. So I loosen this one as far as I have to unhook it from the bottom. So it sort of comes out of the way. Same thing with this. You see, it's just little hooks here, and that's it. Okay, here comes our battery box. And now we have access, so we can come into take this off, this bolt here, and take this hose off, and then we'll go on the other side, and we'll take the bolt off over there. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is take this clamp off and see how much easier it is if you have a little access. I mean, it doesn't take that much longer to take that battery out of there. Okay, so since we can't get it off, let's take the whole housing off, and then we can take it off after we get it out. So there's one bolt in the front over here. That's the number 10. The other one has to be over here. Okay, then the other one's on the back side. So let's take the hardest one off first. Alright, and then we'll come to the front and take the front one off. The screw's not out far enough. Take. Okay, let's disconnect this little clip here. Oh, there's another little bolt here. Okay, so we broke this loose. So let's just take this one off. Okay, so this just goes to some electrical connector. So I just want to work it around. Okay, you just have to work yourself around until it starts coming loose, because this thing hasn't been off since the factory. So here's what it looks like. Pretty simple. Here's an electrical connector, here's 2 bolt holes, here's another electrical connector, and down in here, way down in here, it's the thermostat itself. Normally these just fall off, but I don't understand why this one doesn't want to come out. What we're going to do is we got stuck here, but basically here it is. Here's your thermostat. Now also, water's going to be coming out of the block here, or pressed down, so I suggest put a pan underneath there and collect it off. Alright, so here's the thermostat itself, and here's what we got as a replacement. They're a little different. This is aftermarket. Basically does the same thing. And what I'm going to do later on is I'm going to test this thermostat to see if it works on my kitchen stove, but I'll save that for later on. Ready? Okay, so what happens is the thermostat comes with a rubber gasket with a groove in here, so you just have to just get it on here all the way around. Don't overstretch it, just sneak it on carefully so it doesn't get too big. Okay, now that's on there. Perfect. So the way this goes on is this part goes in there, and that will be the same way like the old thermostat. This part goes in. This doesn't have just this big extension here. So what we're going to do, we clean this whole thing. Okay, now what we're going to do is just easily just set this right in there. Here. And it sets in perfect. Now the next thing I'm going to do is put the housing on. But, I mean, it didn't come with anything. But I always use this blue RTV Permatex. You don't have to use it, but I am going to use it. See, just a light coat, nothing special. I just do it for safety, that's all, because I don't want to do it again. Okay, so we're going to put this housing in. First thing we're going to do is we're going to hook up the electrical, and then we're going to slip this right in there. The second bolt on the back is going to be, it's just harder to find, that's all. So what I'm going to do is also put a little oil on these and put on these other screws. Okay, so here we go. Put the electrical on first, just like we took it off. That'll be a number 10. Okay, that seems to be in about the right location. Let's also put the first one on too. Or maybe putting the first one on a bit easier. Just give that a couple screws. Now we'll go back and find the one on the back side. Okay, the back one is a little bit harder to find, but you still can get at it, and with the battery case out of the way, it makes it a lot easier. Okay, so we tightened the two, and then I'll just come back here and tighten the electrical connection. Okay, so looks like it's on really good. Now the next thing is to just stick on the hose. It's important to wiggle it on all the way, and then take these clamps and there you go. Okay, so that's connected again. Put these hoses together. Alright, with the hose clamp on, alright, the last thing we have to do is this last electrical connector. And it just snaps into position. So we got this one, we got the negative on the other side. 2 bolts in, the clamp on. Now the next thing is just put the battery case back in here. Put the battery on, and then what we'll do is fill it, and got to remember that there's coolant came out of the block. So when we fill it up, it's going to fill up, and then we have to wait for the thermostat to open up, and then we'll have to put more water in afterwards, but we'll do that a little later on. Alright, now we'll put the battery case back in here. And which way it goes. There's some wires. Hook up some wires that are off to the side. Push that one in. Push this one in place. Okay, takes care of that. Okay, so we'll put the positive one on first. Okay, so that's tight. Last thing we have is the battery. So what happens is these little hooks just hook down in there and grab on. So we just have to loosen them up just enough to hook on. Okay, that's not going anywhere. Now, since we took the battery off, your radio probably won't work anymore because once you unplug it, it cuts the power off. It says that it's being stolen, so you got to punch in the codes. This doesn't have a navigational unit, so that's to be the same thing. Also, now that you touched all this stuff, the batteries and everything else, I strongly suggest you wash your hands and wash your clothes before the battery acid eats them all up. Oh, the other thing is, if you're going to do a smog test, now that you disconnected the battery, the car is going to know that, and it's going to want you to drive for 100, 150 miles before all the computers reset and get adjusted, and that way it'll pass the smog. We have to put some antifreeze. Here, this is the concentrated stuff. So we'll put this in first, and I guess the goal is to get about 50-50. So this will take a while, and then once we fill this all up, what we will do is start the engine and let it run. Okay, so what happened is we fill it with Prestone, and we got the car running. It's not leaking on the bottom, so we're waiting for the thermostat to open up so that it'll get all this water flowing again. So we just have to wait until that happens, and that's it. The thermostat way over there opened up, and the temperature gauge is normal. You'll see here that the Prestone is hot. That's where you know that it's circulating through the system. So you can see the Prestone moving in the radiator, so that means it is circulating. So we'll just put the cap on and we're done.